Hi, I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. Today I have with me Tabitha Kremesec, correct?
Yes.
And she is a poet, an author. You've had an interesting life. I'm really happy that she's here with us because I want to talk with her about this book of poetry that she's written. I hope you can see that. I've read it, and there's some really neat stuff in here.
Thank you.
Things I read that I wondered what was going on in your life at that time to make you write this, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So thank you for being here, Tabitha. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I moved from Nebraska to California, actually San Andreas, in 1985 with my stepdad, my mom, and my two brothers.
Out of all places, how did you guys end up in San Andreas?
My stepdad's uncle actually owned a company, and he went to work for him, and it brought him out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how old were you?
I was 6.
6.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, and then what happened after that?
Well, I moved around a lot. You know, we moved from town to town. You know, as I got a little older, we eventually ended up in Arnold.
Okay.
And I was a stay-at-home wife and had a lot of animals. Mm-hmm. And I just enjoyed spending time with my animals, cleaning the house and doing stuff. And then I eventually got a job at the Arnold Pet Clinic.
Okay.
As a veterinary assistant because I loved animals so much.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. And then I ended up having a stroke, which caused me not to be able to work there anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had a stroke?
29, actually. Yeah, 29, I believe.
Oh, my goodness. That's very rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we know what caused your stroke?
A fast heartbeat.
Really? That can cause a stroke?
Yeah, well, a blood clot was in there, and my heart was going really fast, and it just shot the blood clot right up to my brain. And
oh, my God.
Yeah, I was in the hospital, and they thought that I had MS. Mm-hmm. And I had to take shots for 3 years, and it was very painful in my stomach.
Oh, my gosh. Shots for MS?
Yes.
So they didn't know you had a stroke for 3 years?
Yeah, not until I went to another neurologist.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And you were so young.
Yeah.
And you had your kids already by this time?
Actually, I don't have any kids.
You don't have kids? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
No kids.
Just a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of animals.
They'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
They're not that different from having kids.
No, no, they're not. And they're really demanding because they demand you all the time.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. Did you go to high school at Bret Harte or Calaveras?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I went to high school at Bret Harte, and my last 2 years I went to Arnold High. And I graduated from Arnold High, and I really enjoyed it there. It was a small school, so it was one-on-one.
Right.
And I learned Spanish, a little bit of Spanish.
Yeah.
And it was really easy to pick it up because it was one-on-one, you know, with the teacher and stuff.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I took Spanish in high school, but all I remember, seriously, is Hola Felipe. Every example in the book, the guy's name was Felipe, it seemed. So that's all I remember. If I meet anyone whose name is not Felipe, I'm totally out of luck. So I was looking at the back of your book here. There are some interesting things. It sounds like you said, you moved around a lot.
Yeah.
Your parents divorced?
Yes, when I was just the baby.
Okay.
Real tiny, about maybe 1 year old or so.
And I might be wrong. Did this say that you were raised by your aunt?
Yes, when I was 14, when I was 13, I went to live with my biological father in Colorado, And
Wow.
I lived there, but that didn't work out. And I ended up going and living with his sister in Nebraska, because that's where my family's from originally.
Okay, right.
And I had a lot of troubles with everyday life. I was suicidal and very violent, and
You were? I can't even imagine that.
I know. It was really, I was having troubles and
Okay.
just dealing with everything, and I ended up being placed in a mental institution when I was 14.
Oh my gosh.
I spent a month in there, and they diagnosed me with bipolar illness.
And do you actually have that, or?
Yes, I
Do
do.
you really?
Yes, I've been coping with that for years. Ever since I was actually 13 was when I was showing the signs for it.
Oh my gosh. Do you know where that comes from? It's not brought on by having a hard life, right?
It's actually genetic.
Genetic, okay.
Yeah, my dad has
Okay.
bipolar illness, and my aunt has it, and I believe my dad's mom had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the bipolar is probably what made things for you harder when it came to emotions and all the changes you had to go through, all the places you lived. It probably just intensified everything, I'm guessing.
Yes, it did. And writing poetry really helped me cope with, the
Yeah.
everyday struggles that I was having.
I love that. How did you discover that? Is that something they taught you when you were in that institution, or did you just pick it up yourself?
I just was writing one day, and they liked my stuff, and so I just continued to write, and I saved a couple of my poems in that book were actually from when I was younger,
Okay.
like a teenager, and I just was, dealing with it by reading it and writing it, not reading
Right,
it.
right. And being a teenager is hard enough on its own. Even when you come from a family with two married parents and no real issues and in the same home forever, I can't imagine what it must have been like for you.
Yeah.
All that you were dealing with.
It was real hard.
Man, wowee. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yes,
to
me
talk about
too.
it. So, Life as We Know It and Other Poems. Did you come up with the title of this book?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what about the cover? Can you explain the cover to me?
Actually, I drew the cover when I was about 20 years old.
Yeah?
Yes.
What does it represent to you?
I think it just about life in general and what's out there, and what it's, just life in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By looking at this, it made me think of, and I don't know, this might not be what you had in mind, but what it made me think of is how small we are. And because sometimes I think, it's kind of true that, everything revolves around me. Sort of does.
Yeah.
In my world,
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, I feel like everything can be so big. Even when it's not really that big of a deal, I can make it a big deal. And even as big of a deal as I make something, it's so small compared to, I'm just a speck,
Yeah.
I'm just one little person on this entire globe. And that's what this made me think of, is that how small we are. There's so much more. Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I liked
that is
it.
nice.
Very cool. So I marked in here some of the poems that I really liked. Would you mind reading them and then telling me what you were thinking or what?
Oh, I'd love to.
This is one here. I also like this one, but The Stormy Night.
That's my mom's favorite.
Okay, read it to us and then tell me about it.
Okay, a stormy night. On a stormy night, a shadow appeared to me, a shadow of the future, a shadow of the past, a shadow I could not pass. It came to me and surrounded me. As I tried to run, I could not. As I opened my eyes, a vision came to me. I saw myself being free, free of the past and free of the future. The black became light, and I found myself free at last.
Wow. That kind of gives me the chills. What was happening for you when you wrote that?
I was in a dark place, and it was actually when I was younger. I wrote that. I was going through a lot of struggles in my life, and things were becoming clear.
Yeah.
So it was like a light was coming on, and my mind was getting clearer, and it wasn't so dark anymore.
Right. What was happening that made you feel like you were going from the dark to the light? Was it a person who came into your life, or an event that happened?
It was suicidal thoughts. I was real suicidal, and my brother Jason, he was over, and we were doing a bunch of art stuff. That's when I drew this. And he came over and took care of me a lot.
Oh, nice.
When I was going through depression and suicidal thoughts and hallucinations, and I just wrote that poem, and I was just thinking, everything is dark.
Yeah.
Was dark, and everything is becoming light now, and it's becoming really great. My life is changing.
Yeah.
And I was having the help from my brother Jason.
So neat.
I mean, he's 6 years younger than me.
Really?
Yes.
I imagined him older than you.
No, he's 6 years younger than me, and he was taking care of me a lot when I was going through all my illnesses.
What a neat guy.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but I love him.
Yes.
That is so neat.
He's a sweet guy.
Oh, maybe that's why, like I said, that was one that I really liked. There was a point in my life when I was suicidal also, and I was a teenager.
Really?
Yeah, it was living at home. I couldn't get away from certain things, and I felt like that, like I was stuck, just stuck, and I couldn't see a way out. Or it seemed like it wasn't going to be until I was an adult, that I would be able to change anything because I had no power. But that I related that to that feeling of just being stuck in the dark by yourself, and it takes a special person or an event or just some sort of realization, God,
yes.
to
That's
to
exactly
change that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because God came into my life, at that time. My grandma, I would go to church with my grandma when I lived back there in Nebraska, and so anyways, when I came out here, I just really went downhill again, and then I just thought about God, and it just a light came over me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine that literally. Yeah. I can just envision that. That's awesome. Oh, thank God you had God in your life. I'm so glad that
I did too.
Had that background.
And I still turn to him today.
Me
and
too.
I pray every night before I go to bed.
Love that. Yeah,
Yes.
I do too. Well, I pray more when things are not going too well. I shouldn't admit that, but it's true. When things are not going so well, I pray my butt off. I pray all the time. And then when things are going really well, sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
But he's always there for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my go-to guy.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, that was a really neat one. And then there was another one next to it that I remember. I liked that one.
The soul?
Yeah.
Okay. Soul. Down by the bay, it's so gray that I can't see the waves. So loud that I can't hear what you say. Hear the child that plays all day. Every day is the same child that plays alone, without any friends, alone without parents. A child whose days are the same as the nights, lost and alone, without any love. He sings and plays with his last days. A child that must see the light and go on with life, the journey every soul must take.
How old were you when you wrote that?
I was like 16 or so.
Golly.
Yeah.
And was a child you?
These two, the Stormy Night and the Soul, was when I was, the Soul was when I was younger, but I was even younger when the Soul is when I was younger, and the Stormy Night I was a little older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And in both of them, the person you're talking about is yourself?
Actually, I was just like, I was just thinking that I was taking myself as being that every soul has to take the journey, to see the light.
Mm-hmm.
Every soul has to see the light and move forward.
Yeah.
And I was just putting the little boy as myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just using that,
Yeah.
And I was just talking about a soul that has to take a journey.
Yeah.
And if you stay on this earth, you're just alone. Mm-hmm. And you have to see the light and move forward.
Yeah.
And you'll be happy and you'll live forever,
Mm-hmm. I love what you're saying, and I totally agree. I too think that each of us has our own journey that we have to take, and sometimes we don't know why in the heck we're being sent to do this or why we're going through something that we are. But later, could be years later, could be at the end of our life, or maybe even never, that it makes sense to us, but it makes sense to God, because it's such a big picture.
Yeah.
We're like a little piece of a big picture. And as you're reading that, I was thinking, I feel so horrible that you went through so many awful things in your life, but look at what kind of person you turned out to be. If you hadn't experienced all these things, you wouldn't be you and being able to share this with other people.
Yeah, and write. I wouldn't have anything to write about.
Right.
And it's just like my husband and I recently bought a house, actually, a couple years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's our first house.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we bought the house, and the first day we got the keys, there was a pile of bricks, and I was just standing, and I was leaning over to peek in the shed, and I lost my balance, and I shattered my leg.
Oh, gosh.
And I had 2 surgeries, one a year after I broke my leg, and the one when I did break my leg.
Oh my gosh! And this is right after you moved into your house.
Yeah, right.
So that
before
happy
we
event.
Did, actually, yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh no.
Yeah. So
that's sad.
But I wouldn't have. But if I didn't break my leg, I wouldn't have wrote. I wouldn't have got this published.
Oh yeah.
I had nothing to do.
Right.
So I was writing a lot of these poems, except for these 2. I wrote after I shattered my leg, and I was just sitting there one day, and I got an idea. I should see if I could get these published. So I called. They told me to send it in, and so I did. And they called me back, and they said that we accept it. And then we want to publish it.
Oh my God, that'd have been a happy day.
Yes, it was really happy.
That's awesome.
And I was thinking, if I wouldn't have shattered my leg, then I wouldn't have these poems to put in this book and get it published.
That is so cool how you turned that around and used your downtime for something like this.
Turned it into a positive.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've been doing that, it sounds like, from day one for you.
Yeah.
You've always been doing that. That's awesome. That is so neat. So where can people find your book?
Well, on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com,
okay,
and many other online stores. There's also RoseDogBookstore.com,
okay,
which is the one that published my book.
Okay. And is it an expensive book?
No.
Anybody can afford it?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. That is so neat. I'm going to want you to read some more of your poems, but this might be a good time to mention this. As an author, you are going to be doing a book signing.
Yes.
Yes. In Arnold? Is that where?
Yeah, in Arnold.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to hold this up. This is a flyer. I hope you can see that. I just want you to be able to recognize it if you see it in a window or anything. So it's called A Time for Herbs. I like that name.
Yeah.
So tell me about this event. There's a lot going on. There's your book signing, but a lot of other stuff too.
Yes.
What all is happening here?
Well, I can't remember everything that's happening.
Sure.
There's going to be gifts, nature's gifts. natural products, like lotions and stuff for the body, mind, and spirit. Organic herbs and teas. There's going to be herbal extracts and essential oils, lotions, soaps. There's going to be books, of course. And there's other books there from other local authors.
Okay. Who will be there to sign also?
They're not going to be there this time, but there's going to be another event coming up. But I don't know the dates yet.
Okay.
But there will be more.
And what is the date on this one?
My signing is going to be, just me alone, is going to be June 4th at 11 o'clock. And that's when, in the morning, and that's when all of these
vendors
activities,
and all that,
are going to be starting is at 11 o'clock a.m. in the morning on
everything. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday the 4th.
Okay, and the address is 2397 Cedar Lane in Arnold. I'm going to give this phone number also in case someone wants to call for more information. 209-795-7112. I'll just say it one more time, 795-7112. Call that number to get more information about this event. Make sure that you're there. Your book fits in perfectly. As you were reading this, I was thinking that is good for the soul.
Yes.
Yeah, you should be there.
Yes.
That's awesome. And then, you had this little map too. So it takes place, the herb garden is not far from Big Trees Market.
Yeah, it's just right down the street.
Okay.
Right by where the chapel is. Chapel of Pines, the little church. It's right by Big Trees. Well, you just turn down like you're down the street by the church.
Okay.
And it's right across from the little duck pond at the end of the street.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that
it's real easy to find.
Is this your first book signing?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I hope you get a big turnout.
Yes, me too.
Yeah,
and this is also my first book that I ever got published.
That's so. Are you going to write any more?
Yes, I've been working on them.
More poetry or short
more
stories?
poetries and short stories.
Good. I think you would be so inspirational to people of all different backgrounds and ages and people who've gone through different experiences. I mean, when you think about you being raised by different family members throughout your life and moving so much and being misdiagnosed and having the different issues that you've had come up in your life and you've handled them all so well. Yeah, you should go around speaking, I think. Yeah, I think that'd be great for you. Yeah.
Well, I did cry a lot.
Yeah.
Because I thought life was over, know. But with writing, it really helped get me through the bad times.
Yeah.
But I also write when there's good times. Mm-hmm. It's...
In fact, I think I might have marked a couple of happier ones in there. You want to read to us another one?
Yeah.
I like hearing them from you. I like the author herself.
Thank you. Mystery. Oh, yes, I love this one, too.
Oh, read it to me and then tell me what the idea behind it.
It's so beautiful, it takes time to grow. It comes in many colors, but only one shape. I wouldn't mind having just one. They're a kind gift to give to anyone. They have quite the smell, but they don't last long. It's called a rose, and I would like one.
I love that. That is so neat. Yeah. As I was reading it, I'm trying to put the riddle together in my head, and I didn't figure it out till I actually got to the end. And then I'm like, yeah. That is so cool. Is Rose your favorite flower? Or was that?
Yes.
So is there someone you know named Rose?
Rose is my favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have time for maybe a couple more in there.
All right.
So you cover a wide variety of subjects in your poetry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot going on in my life.
Yeah, you do. Oh, that's so neat.
The next one is called Morning Rise. I'm about to lose my mind every time I hear you cry. What can I do to make you laugh one more time? I wish I could make you see life is worth living, for it's not your time to go to the other side. You need to take it slow and be careful, for it will show. It's just not your time to go. When I hear you laugh, it just brightens up my day. When I hear you cry, I just want to pray. I was going through a very suicidal moment when I was reading that.
Yeah.
Writing that.
Right.
I keep saying reading.
That's okay. Well, you did read it.
Yeah.
You just read it.
I know.
Oh, gosh.
But I just was like thinking of what other people are thinking when I'm telling them that I'm suicidal and I'm crying all the time. What I could imagine what they're thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm glad you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. Have you ever heard of a group called Live On?
No.
It's a group in Calaveras, and it's a suicide prevention group. I think it would be so neat to hook you up with the woman named Kim and her daughter Amber who run that group. Kim's son and Amber's brother died by suicide years ago, and that's why they began this. It's a passion of theirs. I think they would love to meet you and to know about your stories. I think they would love that.
Oh, that's
so.
Really
Yeah, so I'll have
nice.
to give you that info later.
Yes.
Perfect. And what is that last one? I think it was also, I think it might have been related to that. I'm not sure.
All right. Let's see. Oh, past.
Okay.
You once were like a flower to me, and you were sweet. The times we had were so remarkable, you would make my heart skip a beat. If only the good times would last, you wouldn't be like a flower that withered that passed. I took you in my arms when you were down, and I told you this will pass. Our love was beautiful, but I knew it couldn't last. It's hard for me to get past the pain, this pain you've caused me. I only hope you're in a better place. You've earned your wings. I cry when I think of you, knowing I'll be up there soon. If only I could touch you one more time and tell you how much I love you. I pray I'll see you again at last.
Wow.
And actually, that was from my imagination.
Really?
Yeah, that didn't really represent anybody in particular. I just came up with that in my head. And I'm like, oh, that sounds good. And so
it does sound good. And it seems to me pretty right on for somebody who's grieving somebody.
Yeah.
Wow. You've got a gift.
Oh, thank
you. That's really neat. Oh, we only have like 1 minute left. Let's see, is there any way if someone wants you to come and speak with their group or anything like that, how should they reach you? Do you could they write to you or do you have an email address?
I have an email address.
Okay. Would you mind giving that so they can?
No, I wouldn't mind at all.
Okay.
It's Tabitha Kremesec at att.net.
Oh, good. I hope you hear from plenty of people because I think that people should hear you. That's what I think. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We are all out of time, but this was really neat. I appreciate you coming and being here.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, anytime. And thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras.